Good evening, everybody. The people having problems getting your stuff. There was a major glitch by the end of the weekend on. Anyways, so Abe's having to have to send out people's information almost on a manual basis. So he's working hard at it. So he'll have it to you. Don't worry. Okay, so today was pretty bearish most of the day, but you can see what the overall chart looks like on the Dow. Ever since our morning star signal, Doji McMuffin, J-hook pattern, still above the 3T line, let alone the T line, and as I pointed out in the afternoon newsletter, there was other pieces of evidence that told us pretty much there wasn't any major bearish sentiment in the markets. Even the NASDAQ showed that after it bounced off the 34, it came back up above the 3T line and actually traded positive on the day. So when you take all that into consideration, when you're looking at the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500, your overall analysis, because of the indecisiveness of today's signal or today's trading, pretty much tells you there wasn't any real change of investor sentiment. So now we can make better calculations of not better calculations, but still kind of confirm the calculations that we've made that the uptrend remains in progress as long as we stay above the T line, let alone the 3T line. So some of the other influencing factors is crude oil. Still trying to base. I guess I would need to make this a little bit smaller. So I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see crude oil start coming up, or at least you know the political pressure is to get it back up into the $40-50 range, so that it's economical for, I guess not economical, profitable. So it's profitable for that sector of the industry, the oil and gas industry, to be able to make a profit. So they're going to be doing things that kind of push in an upward direction. Now, apparently they've cut their production now by, 20 million barrels a day, which is pretty excessive. So the rationale should be probably crude oil prices aren't going to move with any great vigor until they get this stay-at-home lifted, because obviously if you're staying home, you're not using your automobiles. Pat, I thought I heard later that they've improved it to 20 million barrels a day. So, I was listening to some commentary somewhere, and so what's going to happen, obviously, if they start cutting back? Right now, there is just oil all over the place. All the tank fields are full. The ships are full. and they don't have any place oh, he just did wishful thinking. All right. Somewhere I heard that they were cutting back 20 million barrels a day. So maybe I was just hearing the tail end of something. However, that's just a long dissertation to say that if things open back up where people can get back out driving again, and they've cut the production quite a bit, that it could start doing a kind of a slingshot move to where once everything is used up, we still don't have demand. Anyways, the other, here's gold. Gold continues to move higher. I don't know, what is the all-time high on gold? Kind of gone through this level. So that means that sector is going to be pretty lively for a while. $19.52, all right. That was 9 years ago. Wow. $16.40. Okay. I can still remember, I hate to mention how long ago this was, that gold spiked was about 1980, and a couple of days it went from $200 an ounce to $800 an ounce, maybe even went up to $1,200 one day. And everybody said, oh, there's no more gold being produced. Look for it to go to $2,000 an ounce. Well, the next 4 days it dropped back down to $200, and it stayed there for the next 15 years, at least 15 years. So, remember gasoline at $23.9. That's right. Oh, to get off track. When I was a wee little kid, we would go up and visit my grandparents in Waterville, New York, which is along Route 20. It's south of the thruway between Syracuse and Utica. And I can remember my dad, we pulled into our neighbor, some friends before we were leaving back for Pittsburgh. And so as we were backing out of the driveway, I can remember my dad said, oh, I need to fill up. Where can I get gasoline? And our friend said, oh, if you go down here at the end of the street and make a left, just go up to the corner. And my grandfather said, no, you don't want to go there. Go up and make a right. Down there, up there on the left, they're charging $23.9. Down at the other station, they're charging $19.9. That was early 60s. Anyways. So crude oil, I think they said was it Minnesota or Wisconsin, it was at $1.39 or $1.30 a gallon. So anyways, let's get back on topic here. So there's a couple sectors that are working very nicely. The utility sector. This is CEQP. You can see how this is coming back up. There's a gap up here. That could be a good, basically almost a triple in price. So keep an eye on that one. We'd recommended EQT not too long ago. Came out of this area, just a nice strong move. So utilities are moving strong, and gas I guess it must be natural gas. NS might have a good chart setup. You can see the fry pan bottom. So I would not disregard this area. Oops, went to the gold real quick. I wouldn't disregard the gas and oil, but I'd keep an eye on it because at some point it's going to break out to the upside because of gas, oil prices. The gold stocks, AKG. You can see the setup here. T-line crunch, fry pan bottom, J-hook. Is that only $1? How did that get in there? All right. But wampum, one of the, you can see that fry pan bottom. So that's already probably left the barn. But we've got the Ego that we were looking at the setup, that if it traded positive today, it was breaking out. And MAG, the silver related, is now right at that resistance level. Would not be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading. So you've got a lot of opportunities. JNUG, whoops, let's make JNUG bigger. JNUG has the potential coming back up pretty strong. Nugget, same scenario. Well, the mines shut down. Must be the ones that are still open that are. AEM, nice steady uptrend. Pause. You can buy this on breakout tomorrow. DRD, that one's breaking out already through this level. Look at your little best friend double doji setup. Just keep an eye on this. This makes for very high probability trades when you see the double doji best friend setup. So it's like the doji sandwich where you know what will happen on a positive open the next day, which gives you a good opportunity for, if you're day trading, to know which direction you're going to be in something at the appropriate time. So that kind of adds to our parlay that if you know what setups are high probability setups, like the double doji, then a gap up best friend. If you're a day trader, you know how to trade this one during the day. If you're trading off a 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute chart, you can be trading it knowing that you're heading for the right direction. So not only does the entry strategies that are developed or indicated by candlestick patterns, especially coming off the doji, this puts you in a good place at the right time. So this coming weekend, we're going to be doing a day trading session, one of our mini sessions, the 2-hour, 1-hour training. So you might want to come and join us in that. It's a good place to get a lot of extra insights. There's another Sandstorm Gold fry pan bottom breakout. And KGC, doji, gap up. Told you this uptrend was still in progress. Now you've broken out through this level. So anyways, one of the major advantages for my trading through the years was seeing which ones were setting up and coming right to prospective breakouts. So if I was watching this and it opened up and traded lower and thinking, nah, no good. But then I watched it during the day on the 10-minute chart. When it started coming back up through the open, well, let's do that. When it did this and started coming back up, that's where your day trading can take effect. Now on this one, it wasn't too much of a day trade, other than once you bought it, you didn't have to worry about trading it up and down. You traded it right up until you closed it out at the end of the day right here, where you pretty much should maximize your profits. So just very simple analysis. If you see something that is getting ready to break out, and then you can see what your 10-minute chart is doing to confirm it, you're just basically putting all the probabilities in your favor. Did I do KGC? I did, yes. So, look at the fry pans. PRMA. Something that has a much higher probability of working. And where was this likely to go? At least coming up here to fill the gap, which means that gives you about a 60% upside potential just up to that area. AZN, that little slow curve fry pan breakout. So what do you got going on? Wave 1, wave 2, gap up through the resistance on wave 3. That's likely to go higher. And semi, there's your classic fry pan bottom, J-hook pattern. Wave 3 is going to be about the same as wave 1. So a lot of these patterns, whose handwriting? There's that kind of fry pan bottom, slow curve. Another one. I wouldn't be afraid to be buying on Positive Trading, telling you the breakout has occurred going through the 200. So the reason I keep telling people you want to probably find different signals or patterns that you can get very familiar with, instead of trying to learn all 18 of the top ranked signals and patterns on top of the probably semi is more of a an example of what should happen versus, so wave 1, wave 2, you can see that little slow curve J-hook pattern on wave 3. So yeah, I wouldn't be a buyer of semi here. I'd be holding at these levels. Now I forgot what I did. CVNA, if it breaks out. PAA, another one that can be bought. You can see the fry pan setting up. And FSLY. Why do I have this over here in fry pan? I don't know. It's right at the breakout. But I guess you got kind of a fry pan set up here. And you're right at the breakout level. Let me flip over here to the biggies. Zoom obviously is doing a nice pattern setup. Oh, did I? Maybe I was goofing up over here. No, maybe I goofed up. Not as much as I thought. No, okay. So on the biggies, this is why I always use these kind of as indicators. Because look what's happened to Zoom. And where would you suspect Zoom might be able to get to? Probably back up into this trend channel. So there's our consolidation or our profit taking right back to the 50. Finally did a doji Harami, confirmed the next day, and then started trading positive today out through the T-line. That one you probably have an extremely high probability you're moving higher. Apple, as you can see, is after the best friend signal. It's still likely to head for the 50-day moving average. But here are the ones that told you that bearish sentiment had not come into this market at all. Right here at the breakout level, Amazon up 126 points. Netflix up 26 points, breaking out once it held the 50. So not so much that these might not be good trades right now, but the fact that they were all being bought. Let's see. Let me go back to the fact that these were all being bought. Yeah, probably at this point now, I'd probably be more apt just to use the T-line, since it broke through the T-line on buy signals. Would you consider this a scoop? No. Remember, a scoop has a flat handle. This is just your pullback and then your next move up. And Roku is up 10%, so where is it? About at the 50-day moving average. You can see the fry pan bottom setting up on this one. Oh, no, this is not really a scoop. This is more, I'd consider as a fry pan on Roku. And then Shopify. Look at your best friend signal. Look at kind of your doji sandwich, and look at your close at the 50. So what does this tell you? You're not in the overbought area. You've had a best friend signal, a doji sandwich closing right at the 50. What do we assume from a doji sandwich? More upside. So if this opened positive tomorrow, what would you want to be doing? You probably want to be buying immediately because the probabilities are pretty strong. The T-line or the 50 is not acting as a resistance anymore. Now maybe your next target is back up to this level. So basically you're setting up everything that would apply to what would confirm as or confirm our signals and patterns that you've got a good breakout situation. So the whole point of looking at these is maybe you couldn't trade them, but at least it tells you that the ones that everybody is watching are being bought aggressively. I was pointing this one out or showing this one because look at the double bottom type setup and look what started the next uptrend. There's your kicker signal. This is why I always look for the kicker signals. There's your trend kicker signal. So not only did you have kind of a scoop Morningstar signal, never closed below the T-line, then you have a trend kicker signal, which is implying there's still more upsides. So this one, if you bought down in this range at around 6, now you're at 10.38, so you're pretty close to about a 90% profit on that one. Yes, it is way above the T-line. So what do you do now? You start getting ready to take some profits on using your 10-minute chart. Land's End. Look at the little kicker type signal right here at the very bottom, starting your uptrend. So always keep an eye on these. They're the ones telling you there's been a drastic change of investor sentiment. All right. If you're watching Codex, you can see what you had here, a little Morningstar signal. And you can see I can probably make that. So you've got this kind of downtrend, but if it breaks through here, you got some good running room to the upside. But I wouldn't be buying it yet. Would want more confirmation. Oh, how can that be still on there? Wanted to show this one because notice your doji gap up and kind of an inverted hammer. Now, some people are going to say, well, is that a shooting star? Not when you're down at the lower end of the trading range. When you see that, there's a very good indication that after they've taken profits, if they open up higher, that means the profit taking's over. The force of that trend is still in progress. And CGEN, look at right at the breakout level, you did a doji sandwich. Where can this go? At least probably back up here to fill that gap. No, Frank, not so much a J-hook as a double bottom. Remember where a J-hook occurs. A J-hook is, here's a bearish J-hook, downtrend, and the J-hook. In an uptrend, you'd have an uptrend and then a J-hook. This is just a double bottom reversal. XENT. Will, I guess the question is, what's wrong with that chart? I'll answer that for you. Nothing. So maybe it traded up here and traded back here. Oh, was there bad news after hours? Where's it trading now? Back to $10? Okay, I don't know what. So that's something you can't. That's your risk reward. Is that if you're trading something, unless on weak guidance. But you can't take that into consideration. There was no way of knowing there was going to be, or did they do earnings after hours? If you knew there was earnings, which I didn't look at close enough, down 15 cents after weak guidance. So you can't ever tell when that's going to happen. So that is not a case of, oh, we should have known it was going to happen or there was a way to find out. No, that's a case of once it does happen, what do you do? And if they open it down here tomorrow, you've got to say to yourself, all right, is this doing what I expected it to do on a surprise announcement? If the answer is no, you just, yeah, I'm guessing that a lot of these stocks are going to have to come out with lower guidance. So if that's another element that you're going to have to kind of look at. That's true too. This is a perfect time to get the bad news out because everybody's expecting the bad news will be coming out. Right. So yeah. So to answer that question or answer that scenario, that if I'm buying something and something unexpected happens and it's down here, what do you got to tell yourself? I was buying because I anticipated this, not this. Close out the position. The one thing you need to learn is that 30% of your trades aren't going to work. Now, some of them you'd get out here or here. Sometimes you have bad news, but the only thing you want to know then is, what do I do with this trade? Get rid of it. yes, probably at this point, John, you can't do anything except try to get out of it as the market opens. So the best thing to do is wait to see how they open it, and then see whether they start taking it back up or dropping it down. Now, a lot of times that may have already been built into the stock, so that's a knee-jerk reaction. A lot of times you see it or trading here after hours, and they open it up right in here. Yes, so yes, I would wait to see how it opens in the morning. Remember what happens to volume after hours. It just is not there. But the important factor on that illustration is if you get into a position and then all of a sudden something changes where it's not a good place to be anymore, close it. Take that money and move it to someplace else, because the longer you sit there hoping that it's going to come back for you, the less opportunity you have of moving that money to some place where the probabilities are in your favor again. CGEN, another strong move. Did I do this one already? It looks familiar. Or did I do it already? With the Doji sandwich. Oh, we must have done that one. Yes. And Rite Aid. Another one with the cradle pattern, followed by the Doji gap up. This one you get ready to buy, because if it opens positive, you can see that little resistance level go by, and then maybe come back up into this area, and then possibly back up into this range. If you can look at this, you can see there's kind of a trend channel developing. And AKTS, oh, I was showing this one because of the strength. Doji gap up, gap up, gap up. When they're gapping it up, I mean, there's a lot of strength. Now you do what you would do on any normal trade. You have a doji getting up in the overbought area. Put your safety stop someplace that it shouldn't be trading. There's a J-hook pattern setting up. Look what it did when it came out of this range. Now look for the next move. So where do you want to buy? Anywhere above that level. Oops, and we did this one. AZN, there's your gap up starting wave 3. So the ones that are still moving, LVGO, there's your kicker, trend kicker, J-hook type pattern. So all you can do here is stay long until you see a confirmed sell signal. Now you've gapped up. Your safety stop should be right here. Shouldn't come back through that level. And microchip, kind of like the biggies, it sold off all day long, but then closed up higher at the end of the day. What's your likely target still? The 50-day moving average. And things like Halliburton, now it closed right on the T-line. Let me make this. So what's our trade strategy? It has to open positive and trade positive to stay long. Again, look where, when it got into the overbought area and they gapped it up, that was kind of your warning. Now, if you held on to it, it has to open positive. Okay, I think that's about all I got for tonight. Again, the gold stocks are still showing a lot of potential. Gold and silver. A lot of potential. So I guess with that, so what I was supposed to point out is the entry strategies for day trading is being able to see, what do you want to see, RK? For day trading is going to be based upon identifying which price moves are going to break out. So you at least know you're day trading in the correct direction, whether you're day trading as just a one trade or whether you're planning to trade in and out as that trend moves up. Right now, soybeans is not doing anything. Wheat, wouldn't be trading that. Have backed away from these because they've been up the limit, down the limit. It's hard. You can see how choppy these are trading because today this opened up down here and in a couple of minutes it closed down the limit. You can see what happened right here. Opened right here at the down the limit. They popped it up a little bit, and then for the rest of the day, it was stuck there. So I usually try to use these type of charts to show how you can day trade. So here's your 10-minute chart on the hogs. And so if I was trading this today, I probably really wouldn't have to trade it at all. But if I was buying right in here on the 10-minute chart, you can see what didn't happen. It didn't close below the T-line. I think we did NVIDIA, right? That was the NVIDIA. If you're long, you can stay long, but it definitely needs to get out of this sideways range. Hold on to your individual ones. Would you day trade if you use level 2? Well, it's been so long that I traded. Is level 2 show you where the volume is? We used to do what we called SOS trading back in 1999, 2000, 2001. And that would mean that on your left-hand column, which was your bid, if something was, IBM was bidding, they were bidding 100, well, it might show that there is 8 bidders at 100. And then over on the right-hand column, it might show, back then when it was at 8, it might show that there's 7 people asking 101/8. So if you're trading IBM off the level 2, you watched it, and then if you saw the 7 asks at 108 start chipping away, or now it's down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What you try to do is hit that last ask at 108, because that meant now the bid was 108, and they were asking 125. And now you would see, hopefully see that the bid went from 1 to 2 to 5 to 7 bids, and then the ask side, which was 8 asks or 6 asks, all of a sudden started disappearing. So that meant they were still buying, and pretty soon now the bid would flip over to 125, and they'd be asking 138. So you'd watch how many bids and asks would disappear, and that would be your ultimate time to enter the trade. So you can do that if you basically know that you have a bullish signal and it's supposed to be trading bullish during the day. You're watching the market and whatever you're trading, trade bullish. And then you could even want to fine tune it even more. You can use the level 2. Yes, SOS trading. I forget what SOS stood for. I can't. JB, it's been so long I can't remember what was the difference between level 2 and level 3. Small order execution, yes, and that was created, I think, from that one of the flash crashes where was it 1987 where the markets crashed 500 points in one day, which back then the level of the market was much lower. And the phone lines at the brokerage firms were just inundated. And of course, brokers, being human, didn't want to pick up the phone and talk to their clients. But what was happening is there were so many individuals that were trying to get in to buy when the market was down 500 points, and they couldn't even get in to buy. So that's when they regulated that everybody had to have equal access. Yeah, so it was basically the institutions panic selling, and remember the old saying that when the public gets in, it's time to get out? Well, this was a case where the institutions were all bailing out and the public was trying to get in. NAO, yeah. NAO, I'm waiting to see whether they open this positive tomorrow. If they open it lower, that tells us what's happening, that we're going to be in a trend like this. It needs to open positive and trade positive to tell us that this move is going. Okay, so I guess with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. Mercy. Okay. Zoom. We already looked at all three of these, Donald. Zoom, you could be buying on positive trading. Amazon, you probably don't want to be buying, but it's telling us that the market is still got a lot of bullish sentiment. And Netflix, same scenario, broke out through this level. AMRN, get ready to buy this one if it opens positive tomorrow. When we buy down here, what's our criteria? Watch to see what it does once it gets to the T-line. Mattel, nothing there. Well, yeah, I shouldn't say that. You stay long. Obviously, you'd like to see it get through the 34, which is kind of a resistance level, so you can get back up to probably the 200, which is filling that gap. And Mist, you can get ready to buy this one. Make sure the volume is hefty. ADMS. That one ran out of a little bit of steam. You can stay long as long as it doesn't close back below the T-line. And Fitbit. A J-hook type pattern setting up, but it definitely needs to get through this level. And VAX, you just stay long until you see a sell signal. You're in the overbought area, so your safety stop is just below today's low. We did NAO, needs to open positive. NBAR, NBR, nice breakout. Make sure the volume stays good on this if you're planning to buy. And Euro, another one. You can buy on positive trading, breaking through the 50 with the gap up today. Again, make sure your volume is hefty on these. Whoops, how did I do that? Scrolled right past everything. Boeing is nothing. Would not be long or short Boeing right now. Just no direction to it. You're in the sideways. SNDE. This one, look what happened. You had that inverted hammer, and then it opened positive again. You can fry pan bottom. You can buy this one on positive trading. The SPY, whoops. Same as the kind of the Dow. It needs you want to see it open positive, you use the kind of the 34 today as a support. OIS, nice fry pan bottom. Make sure the volume is good. I wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. Lift, just stay long. Safety stop below today's low. It shouldn't come back in that direction. Zoom we did. This is probably a good option setup. It's confirming based upon the breakout of the T-line. This one's having a hard time, obviously, getting through this level. If you're thinking of going long, I'd use today's open as a stop. If it comes back up through there, it's trying to break out of this fry pan bottom, or a slow curve J-hook. Sony, I would be ready to go short if it opened lower, obviously failing at the 50-day moving average. And AKAM, this one definitely has to open positive if you're long, but it's having trouble right here at this level also. So if this opened lower tomorrow, I'd close it out. G3, you can stay long. You closed right on the 3T line. You'd like to see it open positive. If it opens lower, it's probably coming back to test the T line. You might close it out and then see what it does once it gets to the T line. Clovis, I thought we did. Needs to open positive tomorrow and break out. Micron, you get ready to short this one. A bearish engulfing right here at the 50. Now you close right on the T-line. Get ready to short this one with at least the expectation that it's going to come down here, not too far away, but an obvious failure at the 50. We did Tesla. Get ready to, you can watch for the breakout through the 50 on this one. CMD did not execute, so you don't pay attention unless you're already long. It needs to stay above the T-line, but I wouldn't buy this until it breaks out through this level right here at today's open. And APT has lost its flare, not going anywhere. I'd be someplace else. Same scenario on Lake, just nothing. CDLX, another one that has to open positive, giving you kind of a bobble breakout setup. Don't let it close below the T-line. And Sky, look for the, you can buy this one on positive trading tomorrow, giving you that double doji setup. And our MFGP, another one that backed off a little bit today, but didn't change the double bottom, kind of the gap up kicker type signal. I would stay long, anticipating this is your first target, this is your second target, fill in the gap. And Kroger, nothing. No direction at all. I'd be someplace else. Costco, another one that I'd be someplace else. There's no direction to it. Mac, this one backed off as was kind of being indicated because of the gap up shooting star, even though you weren't in the overbought area. So if you own this one, it has to open positive and trade positive. If it opens lower, they're bringing it back down to the T-line, which would be a decent percentage pullback. And Johnson & Johnson, you just stay long as this stays above the T-line. Now, your doji is going to give you a good indication of what they're going to do with it tomorrow. If they open it lower, you've got the potential of a bearish doji sandwich, which means you probably want to get out of it right away. And SMNT, there's your kind of your slow curve breakout. Just stay long. And this is a nice little breakout. Just make sure your volume is close to 1 million shares to make it easy to get in and out of. Wi-Fi, kind of a T-line crunch. You stay long on this as long as it stays above the T-line. PAG, another one where you just stay long. And I'd be a buyer if it came up through, let's say, the highs. That would tell me this fry pan bottom is working. And PAR, I'd be a buyer of this one, your Doji Sandwich fry pan bottom setup. Apache, stay long. I would probably use, I'd just use the T-line. You can see the double bottom on this one. And Appy, stay long on this one, as long as you're above the T-line. LPSN, that one needed to open positive today. If you're thinking of going long, I'd wait for it to come back up through today's open, Thursday's close, and or the 34. But you can see the slow curve fry pan bottom setting up. Nail, we already did. That one definitely needs to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. AMGN, kind of a fry pan bottom. Just stay with this as long as it stays above the T-line. We did Lake. Space, nothing there. You're in a sideways mode. I probably wouldn't buy this one if you're long. You stay long. Don't let it close below the T-line, but it better get through the 34 pretty quick. AT&T, not a very good trader. This one, I wouldn't be long or short this one. First of all, when it does move, the percentage move is extremely slow. And even for long term, there's just nothing right now on this chart. You had a kicker type signal down here. I guess the best I can say is if you're long, you can stay long as it doesn't close below the T-line. Intel, right here at the 34, another one that if it opens lower, they're probably coming back to test the T-line, which would be a good 8-10% lower. Nice little slow curve on this one. Make sure your volume's good. You can still buy this one based upon your Morningstar breakout right here. So you got kind of a bobble breakout. You can buy this one. And Roku, where's it trading? Up here around the 50. No, because you wouldn't have known your stochastics. This was just a bad day and an uptrend. Now you want to see this open positive and trade positive tomorrow. You probably, if it starts trading lower, then you're got a good indication it's going to come back and test the T-line. Tupperware, another one you can get ready to buy. If it trades back up above today's open, giving you a best friend Doji Sandwich setup. Tilray, nothing. Sideways. Whoops. Yeah, I'd be someplace else. Crone, same scenario, no direction. CGC, nothing. So pretty much telling you that whole industry's not really going anywhere. SunPower, you can stay long. Use the T-line as your safety stop. And Suncor, this has lost its steam. If this opens lower tomorrow, close it out. You've got a bearish left-right combo after a long-legged doji. You've got a bearish engulfing, a bearish left-right combo again. Stochastics flattening out. If this doesn't open positive and trade positive, close it out. Move your money to something better. Lulu, another one that's kind of running out of steam, but there's a lot of them. Nah, I shouldn't say that. This one's starting to run out of steam, sideways stochastics. If this opens lower, you close it out. Just a nothing chart. I think we did Clovis, right? Clovis, you buy if it opens positive tomorrow. And NBR, you can buy on positive trading tomorrow. Johnson & Johnson, we did, needs to open positive. On some of the charts, I can overlay volume on the stochastics. So you have volume and stochastics. But on CQG, for some reason, you can't put them on the same chart. So what happens is you got a level of volume down here, then another level of stochastics, which kind of minimizes or reduces your size of your chart. TDOC, if you like it, you stay long. With the anticipation, you're in this uptrend. Unify, you can buy this one. It's not really greatly exciting, but it's heading in the right direction. And Vert, you just stay long as this 45 degree remains in progress. Are we repeating some of these? SPWR. We've done. All right. Target. Watch to see what it does here at the 50. Needs to get through those moving averages. So I would use today's low as my stop. Shouldn't come in that direction. ZS, another one. You're seeing it flatten out, seeing selling. If you've stayed long, it has to open positive tomorrow. And Ford, I think they didn't Ford they had a drop of 10% or something in their number of cars they put out. I wouldn't be trading Ford. I'd probably be buying Ford for a longer term hold, meaning 6 months to a year. Just because of the dividend, and Ford will usually come back. OMI, get ready to buy this with your bullish Harami right smack dab on the 50. Probably somewhere up in this range is your next target. And U.S. Steel, you stay long on this. As long as it stays not only above the T line, but above the 3T line and the 34. But it's kind of losing its steam, so you want to make sure it stays above the T line. Grubhub. That one you can be shorting. Your bearish best friend, gap down. That one definitely want to short. Where are we? VR. Bob, that one's not working. Is it VXRT? If it's that, there's nothing there yet. SM, nice slow curve. You can buy this, provided the volume is good. JD.com, nothing wildly exciting, but if you're long, you can stay long. You're looking for it to break out through this congestion area. Nally, they're paying 14%. You can stay long on this one. RWT, oh boy. It closed back below the T line. If it opens lower, close it out. It's not going anywhere. And NRZ, another one that you want to have stay above the T line. CTXS. This one you get ready to short if it opens lower tomorrow. And GoDaddy you want to see this open positive. Use today's low as your stop. If it comes down through there, they've failed at the T line. Same scenario. This one has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. Otherwise, it's going to be weak looking. Selling a put would be a bullish move. So I don't know. I would think Ford always seems to have a way to pull themselves out of the muck. No, that wasn't a dark cloud. A dark cloud would have had to have closed halfway below this candle. This was just a down day, so your uptrend remains in progress. So you want to know all the specifics of each signal, which isn't that many. Some of them is just two specifics. AUPH, you just stay long on this little kind of bobble breakout. Facebook, you can just stay long on this as long as it stays above the T line. Notice your kicker signal starting the new uptrend. Las Vegas Sands, you stay long as long as it stays above the T line. And MGM, another one, when it opened lower, you figured it was coming back to the T line. Now you have to make sure that it doesn't. Just to get a good price, I'll put you can do that. Do I like Ford? I like Ford because I've always bought Fords. I've got my 55 Ford Thunderbird sitting in the garage. And then I've got, I think, I'm trying to think if I've got any more Fords in the barn or not. I know I've got a couple Mercuries. Yeah, I'm a Ford person over Chevy. What would you buy? Not necessarily. Probably at this point, if I was long, I'd stay long. Yep, fix or repair it daily. AMGN, you just stay long. The cruise lines, that one's stuck kind of in a sideways wedge at this point. So I probably wouldn't be long or short that one. Wouldn't be long or short Royal Caribbean. And same scenario. So those are just showing us sideways, nothing I've been with you for 7 minutes. Yep, I've always had the same opinion just because I think Ford through the years always has good management enough to they get themselves bailed out somehow. Oh, Pat, you're looking better and better. I own a 1969 Ranger with a camper top on it. That's it. MRNA could be a J-hook, but it's basically telling you can stay long as it stays above the T-line. And Disney is nothing wildly exciting. If you've gone long from the best friend down here, I would just stay long. TQ, just stay long. You did semi. Semi, if you're long, stay long, but start watching for sell signals. And ENBL, you can buy this on Positive Trading. Will, I would say pick out things that are trending. Just keep watching. At some point, what you want to do, Will, is not kind of concentrate on recognizing what just a few of the patterns are doing. Not trying to get all, but you want to kind of recognize all of them, but you want to learn 2 or 3 or 4 with great enthusiasm, not great enthusiasm, great detail. So you kind of become an expert. Because even if you pick out 4 things like kicker signals, best friend, fry pan bottom breakout, can't think of another one, but if you learn exactly what those do, what they're expected to do, you're always going to have more trades than you'll ever be able to handle. Stocks, as long as it stays up above the T-line. Meritage, that was one that was bringing things down today. So you've got an evening star right here at the 34, but you're not in the overbought condition yet. So watch to see what they do here at the T-line. meaning you definitely want to see that one open positive if you're long, to stay long. And LIVX, you stay long, but if you're long, you want to see this get through the 200. And STWD, another one you stay long, or you can even be buying if it opens positive tomorrow. This double, the shooting star hammer, opens positive, tells you the consolidation has do you use a higher time frame in your trade setup? Well, depends on what you're trading. If you're, I'm usually looking for 2 to 10 trading days, but I want to make sure my entry is right at the right spot. So if you're trading longer term, we'll pick on Ford here in a second. VTR, stay long, but I'd use probably today's low as a stop. We did Rite Aid. You can buy on positive trading. Work, you can get ready to buy. It's not anything real fantastic right now. I'd be, man, your stochastics, I probably wouldn't be long or short this one right now. Best Buy, you stay long after your gap up, and then kind of a doji sandwich breakout. Not so much for trades breaking through breaking above the T line. I sort my stocks by stocks that trade more than 200,000 shares a day. Then it doesn't matter what the volume is going through. NQ, is that the NASDAQ? NASDAQ trading higher today still makes the 50-day moving average a likely target. And TD, that's kind of soggy. Definitely do not want to see this trade back down below the T line. There's too many banks right now that are acting well. MBOT, you can buy this one on positive trading, watching it probably go into the 200. Okay. As long as this, especially today, the NASDAQ pretty much told us that there wasn't anything changing the current trend. So you kind of extrapolate that into the fact that nothing changed on the trend here for the Dow. So I would still guess that wave 1 and wave 3 should get you pretty close to the 50-day moving average. This one, MNOV, if you're long, you put your safety stop at today's low. And if you're long, you definitely want to see it get through the 200. I'm going to think you're going to do Trade Desk, which is in an uptrend, because TTD, no, with Trade Desk. And Cubby, this is one of those bank stocks that I'd be more apt to be buying, especially if it came back up through today's open. Yeah, we did Trade Desk. You stay long, and I would use today's low as your stop. Okay, the futures are positive. Remember, the futures don't mean a thing this time of night. You could be seeing the futures down 400, and when you get ready to open the market, they're up 100. So it's You want to see where the futures are 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the market opens. Probably even 5 minutes because they whip around so much. Are gold stocks the most likely gainers for tomorrow again, or does it change day to day? Well, you can't kind of try to specify exactly, but if you wake up tomorrow and gold is still trading positive, I'd still kind of anticipate some of these that have broken out or in the process of breaking out. Oops, that one. Yeah, there it is. What was the one? MAG. If this opens up silver stock, you want to be buying immediately. All right, everybody. Guess that's about all we got for tonight. So with that, we'll see everybody bright and early. One more square. You stay long, and you can go long if it opens positive tomorrow. We'll see everybody bright and early in the chat room tomorrow. We'll see you then.